Today, we're going to continue our series on the curious life. I want to talk about noticing when something no longer fits. And curiosity can really be a gift when it comes to this, because curiosity helps us see the possibility of change before our crisis requires us to change. So many of us are carrying habits, ways of being, roles, routines. We may have obligations, identities that we have that made a lot of sense at another season of our life, but now have become burdensome. They may have been good, they may have been beautiful, they may have worked perfectly for years, but maybe now they don't fit the life that we're actually living. It's not always obvious because our brains love routine. It removes the need to make decisions. It gives us consistency and it helps us know what to expect in life. But every now and again, it's a good idea to let curiosity in, and a role that may have worked at one time might now be too small for where you are in life. A routine or a responsibility has become too heavy. After a health scare earlier this year, I entered into a season of recovery, and some of my old rhythms no longer fit. My body needed more rest and attention. My calendar needed more margin. Travel required a lot more thought. And rest was no longer optional. But even as it wasn't optional, it was harder to come by. Sleep became data. So that season has required adjusting, adapting, and accommodating. And it's helped me to name something that had been in the back of my mind for months, and that is habitizing. That point in time when you realize that your good habits are no longer serving you and you need to change. Look at it through a lens of curiosity and then experience, not panic, but philosophical humility as we notice what's going on in our lives and around us. It helps us recognize life is not static, and neither are we. In fact, wisdom in one season of life might become rigidity in another. And it also means a kind of a gentle interruption, a nudge, if you will. It taps you on the shoulder and it says, hey, look at this again. Is this still true? Does this still work for us? Is it still useful? And noticing what no longer fits doesn't mean that you have to change everything, but it does sometimes mean that first faithful step that you take is simply to tell the truth to yourself. This doesn't feel good anymore. I'm tired. I'm ready for a change. I miss this, or I want something different. I've outgrown this. And here's the cool part. Once you start asking those questions, then you give yourself permission to experiment. What else might work? What might fit in the place of this? What would make me feel better about where I am in life right now? And so here's your question for today. What used to fit in your life but may not fit anymore? And then what small experiment could help you discover what fits now? You don't have to solve it today, but you can tell the truth. You can notice, and you can take one small, curious step to seeing what's next. Remember this, curiosity often begins with noticing what we've been tolerating and then wondering what might fit better now. Thanks.